Welcome everybody. Episode 4.
First take.
Yeah. Two guys from Guelph. As you probably noticed, we are very far apart from each other, and that's if you're watching this and it's recorded at another time. This is because we are in the thick of a lockdown right now, so we are taking it very seriously and making sure that we are socially distancing.
Yeah.
But we're in the middle of the holidays. How have you been? I haven't seen you in a while, just because it's really
Good. Mellow Christmas. Kids came over in the morning, opened gifts, then went over to Jen's in the afternoon. So
yeah.
And now just kind of playing lots of guitar.
Yeah. Okay. Nice.
Hopefully going to look at another investment property coming up, so we'll be able to chat about that and do another thinking about another basement apartment. So once I can kind of divulge that information, we'll chat about it. But how about yourself?
Yeah.
A little bit of downtime?
Yeah, a little bit of downtime. Kids, we got the Nintendo Switch, so they've been playing that. They love Super Mario.
Yeah.
So we're just trying to figure out the ins and outs of how to add friends. Like kids, there's like friend codes, so you can add friends, and so we're slowly trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just nice to. I mean, it's as much as, and I'm sure everyone feels the same way, but as much as it's a hindrance and a bummer to be on a second lockdown. I try my hardest to appreciate the fact that, you know what, there's going to be a time in my kids, Elgin and Benson's lives that they don't want to spend time with me all the time. So it's nice to be able to spend time with them.
Yeah, no, I agree. So as far as kind of just, I know that people are talking up there, Joe. I can't see that, so if you want to have a quick look.
Oh, it's just Paul saying, how you doing? Oh, Paul's nephew got the Switch too. Yeah, I love it. I'm sure the more I figure it out, I got Sonic too, Paul. I know you love Sonic.
Yeah. So I think as far as just trying to keep this going, I think we're not, I wouldn't say just kind of topics and stuff, but I think you had brought up a good point. I know getting into 2021, and I think with the amount of people coming into the city from Toronto, the whole concept of like they're leaving the city to come here because they can work from home.
Yeah.
But what can you do to maybe add to your current situation, almost like staycation, like we've talked about. Like, does it make sense to add a pool?
Yeah.
Lots of people are heading up north, like cottage industry has been booming too, right? I think somebody had mentioned Bracebridge was up 70%, something, if it's up in that area. But as far as I think starting out almost 10 years, sometimes pools were a bit of a hindrance, whereas now I think it's adding value because people are having to be home a lot more.
Yeah.
And with our busy schedule. So yeah, I think it's just basically, have you ever owned a pool?
No, and I don't think that's we were talking a little bit before this, and I was saying, like, personally, I think right now, like around Christmas time, a lot of people would be down south right now.
Yeah.
They're probably jonesing to be down south on a beach.
Yeah.
And if you're thinking, what's 2021 going to look like? Are you going to be, like you said, there's a lot of people that are moving from the GTA to smaller communities like Guelph, and the reason is because their dollar goes further, as well as they're going to have a larger footprint.
Yeah.
But I've never been one. Now my family might say something different, but it's never been something that's appealed to me.
Right.
But I get it. I understand that if you have a young family and if you love people who love pools, really utilize them a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. We grew up with one later on in life, and I think the last house that we owned, we had a pool. Our kids were a little older, so I think in theory I thought it's going to be a great idea, but we didn't use it as much.
Yeah.
We were there for 2.5 years, and it was one of the older neighborhoods, like 20 by 40 was the largest at the time you could have, like put back, like when they installed it, like back in the day. But yeah, I think depending on the age, and I find that some clients even adding like a hot tub. Yeah, it's kind of I think trying to add to the outdoor space where you can actually, because it's going to be a big part of people's lives. I think from here on in, just being able to kind of get out and get outside, right, and kind of do that. So.
Exactly. Yeah. Because just because the vaccine is the vaccine rollout is happening right now, but what does travel look like for the next little while? Like we could even ask that to people in the comments, or even if on the live, I'll go check and see. But I mean, are you comfortable with traveling right now? And if not, would you take that money that you normally would be putting aside for travel and putting in a pool? I know I've talked to a few people, and that is what they're doing. Like a friend of mine just this past summer did put in a pool. And he loves it. It's great. It looks I have to. It's amazing. It looked really great. It didn't, and I didn't realize that they vary in size so much. So it doesn't really. It wasn't even really taking up a huge portion of his backyard. I'd say it was like a third of his yard.
And as far as traveling goes, I guess if the outside of the finance minister, right? I guess he was. I don't watch the news at all, but I tuned in today. Excuse me. And Jen had mentioned something like, Doug Ford's like, come on back.
And I mean, not that we want this podcast to get political. It's not. But Amanda was saying that to me today. Like, come on, you're the premier of the province, of the largest province in Ontario. You're telling me you didn't know where your finance minister was? He's like, I'm as shocked as you guys are. But that's it. I won't say anything.
And there's a couple good, definitely reputable, people within the city too, as far as pools go. So I think if you have any questions on that, we can definitely, Joe or myself, can kind of point you in the right direction. As far as lead times, I can know it's safe to assume that they're probably pushed out, because I think more and more people are contemplating on adding that kind of feature to the backyard. So I don't know as far as timelines go, but I know Lou that we work with, they're looking at putting one in at their place there. I mean, his kids are younger. And Lou, if you're watching, which I know you're not, you're quite old. But anyways.
And we'll be over soon for a swim. What, in your experience, because you've been doing this for longer than I have, what would you say? Does it add value to the house?
I would say in this type of climate that we're in, if that's the right term, I think it's definitely. I think it's adding value. I think there's more people. When I started out, would you say out of 10 people, like would 3 out of 10 want the pool? Whereas now, I bet you're well over 50%. Like I don't think it's. I think it's more. I won't answer that. It's just Gail. Sorry, Gail. Let's do this here. Let's tell them that I'm drying my hair. I think to get back on track.
I am listening to you. I'm just going to look and see it.
I think people are definitely thinking more hard about putting that pool in, whereas before it might have been like no. And our lives are busier too. So even if you're working from home, but you have an extra hour, and the kids are home, 60 minutes in that pool, it's going to be a lot of fun and building the memories. But I don't think it's a deterrent anymore, to be honest.
No, and I think one thing that I've noticed too is that there's different tiers too. I mean, like, you could end up spending over $100,000 if you get an in-ground with
60 for the pool, and then it's the features that go in around it.
But then you can there's ones that you don't necessarily have to go for above ground right before that. You can get an on-ground pool, which is essentially it's very close to being an in-ground, but what they'll do is they'll just put wood decking around it, whereas before they would put concrete. And I think that's a fraction of the cost of going all out.
We were at probably maybe a month ago, when you could still get together. We were out with some friends, and their friend, a couple, just they ordered something I think back in April, and it was finally installed in September. But they're loving it. You stop time when you hop in. You go, let's say, a hot tub, right? You got that kind of time to kind of chat and whatnot. But
definitely, I would do a hot tub. Like I can see the appeal of a hot tub, especially go out in the winter. Bring a cocktail with you and just sit in there and just said, to stop time. And it seems like less maintenance too.
Jen has one. They are fairly kind of maintenance free. But I think I think adding that feature to a home, definitely, I don't think it's a deterrent. that staycation is, I think, is getting more and more popular, and it's even more and more kind of popular now that we're kind of having to stay closer to home, so to speak. So yeah. How did the investment kind of tour go prior to Christmas? You and Kelly, and you went to how many spots? You went to St. Catharines. And
we went to St. Catharines, and then we went to Brantford the following week. Brantford, there's definitely there were some good spots. There's a couple of spots that there was an exclusive listing, and basically an exclusive listing is something where it's not going to be on MLS. You might have to, depending on how it's structured, you might have to just deal with that one agent. So we're waiting to hear back from that particular agent to find out more about that. But then there was also a 5-plex.
Oh wow!
That was there that seemed like there was a value add situation. Meaning, and when I say value add, what I mean is that rents might be below market rent. So if you can get in there, maybe renovate a couple of units, increase the rents up to what fair market rent would be, and then you can go back to the bank and refinance. So still some avenues to look at, and but kind of everything, at least on my end, it's just paused a bit because of the holidays and whatnot. But I'm itching to buy something. I just want to invest in something, and it just seems like as much as it seems like there's low inventory, which there is, but but I see some deals to be had.
And I think Brantford too. I know Dean Curtis. I did a walkthrough for him a couple months ago, maybe back in the fall, and he found a fairly good deal for his clients. There, so they were coming in from Toronto. So and if that's somebody that you don't currently follow, hop on either onto Joe's Instagram or mine and just type in Dean Curtis. He's another agent here. Him and Jackie's been an agent for a number of years. His wife. But he's definitely somebody that's heavily involved in that aspect too. So,
And they have an investment. I don't think it's, well, obviously it's not running right now. Maybe they're doing virtual stuff, but they have an investment group that meets on a quarterly basis or maybe monthly, and just sort of like-minded people. No pressure. There's no bad questions or silly questions in that group. I whenever I get a chance to go, I really appreciate it.
And they had some really cool key speakers too, like keynote. Come in. So
we should have Dean on sometime.
Yeah, Dean, if you're listening at whatever, I think we're a couple minutes in. Let us know what works for you, and we'll have you in.
Yeah, absolutely. Because that's something to consider when you're going to Brantford, because I mean it all depends what market you're in, but oftentimes I would say in Guelph, on the whole, tenants pay their own utilities. Whereas in Brantford, that's not the case. The vast majority of leases or tenants are expecting that the landlord's going to pay utilities, and oftentimes they're expecting the landlord to pay for cable and internet as well. So something to consider if you're crunching the numbers and you're trying to get an estimation of what your costs are going to be. Assume that in Brantford that you're going to be paying the utilities as well as cable and internet.
Like, as far as coming up with any ideas, I know we mentioned it the last couple of episodes. If you have any kind of anything that you want us maybe to touch base or discuss, I think that's something that we'd be into. I think maybe Andre might be watching right now. Maybe Andre has a question.
Brandon, it's Brandon again. Brandon's in it again.
Great guy. Hopefully the family's doing well, Brandon. You had a great Christmas and whatnot, and all the best. Anything else, Joe? Anything else you want to touch base on?
Yeah, well, one thing I wanted to say was I wanted to talk about the fact that, again, it can there's probably, and maybe I'm wrong, but there's probably a lot of people that are out there that are looking for their first home,
Yeah.
or they're looking to move up to their next house, or whatever the situation is, this can be a difficult time because
Sure.
there's just such a lack of inventory right
Yeah.
now. One thing that I would recommend to reach out to your agent or reach out to Aaron or I and just say, hey, can you show me some properties that have been on the market for an extended amount of time?
Yeah.
That might be, now mind you, you will have to be open-minded in the sense that you might not get something that is turnkey or
Yeah.
ready right away, but it can give buyers an opportunity to get into the market,
Right.
and possibly you might not have to compete.
Right. Yeah, I think you hit the the nail on the head there as far as on the back end for us. If we kind of want to have a look at days on market, how long certain properties been up, because usually if anything lists quickly, they tend to sell fast. But we do have the ability to kind of maybe what's been on the market for 30 plus days, and at some point if they're thinking about a reduction, then maybe you have a better opportunity to kind of at least start negotiating with somebody that's been on for a little while. We don't know what the reason is why they're selling, excuse me, but yeah, you brought up a good point. There's and I think we just need to do our due diligence as agents and just look at things that are for sale by owner, and the Kijiji ads, and not that we're giving anything away. It's common knowledge, like some of the purple bricks and the comfreys, if they're even comfrey even exists, but like there's other avenues that we need to look at heavily too, and the Toronto board listing and not hitting our board right away. But yeah, I think that's a good point. Look at anything kind of 30 plus days and how much inventory has been on, like days on market. Yeah, you might have the ability to kind of negotiate at least, right? So.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's something that I've been thinking about recently, just because I feel for all the buyers that are out there, and they really want to get into the market. And don't get me wrong, you will have to look past, not all the time, but you will have to look past some things. Like there might not be as modern as you hoped, or as big, or whatever the reason. But you can definitely, if you have a vision, and if you have your agent there to sort of give you some ideas of what they've seen, you can really turn that around and potentially gain some appreciation right out of the gate. Yeah. So I definitely think that's an avenue that buyers should be looking at, is just ask your agent, say, hey, can you show me stuff that, like you said, can you show me stuff that's been on the market for 30 plus days?
Yeah. Because a lot of things are not lasting that long.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But outside of that, obviously it's going to be a very mellow New Year's for a lot of people. So
yeah, I think we're just ordering. Benson has been saying sushi for like the last week and a half, so we're gonna order sushi and I don't know, maybe just watch some movies.
Yeah.
I bought an air fryer.
Yeah, they're amazing.
Yeah, I'm excited. I bought an air fryer. Amanda went out and bought what is it called? Flamin' Hot Cheetos.
Yes.
And
you did that thing?
And mozzarella sticks.
Yes.
No, not the pizza thing.
Okay.
But I'm gonna do is she bought Flamin' Hot Cheetos and mozzarella sticks.
Yes.
So what I'm gonna try is
get out.
I'm gonna cut the mozzarella sticks, put them in an egg wash, and then cover them in crushed Flamin' Hot Cheetos. And I'll report back.
Yeah, please do.
See how it comes out.
Yeah.
What about you? What are you doing for New Year's?
Mellow. Yeah, I'll just stay at home. Kayla and I'll be at home.
Are you gonna do a live music thing on like Instagram?
Yeah, I'm gonna start doing that a little bit more again, I think too. So
yeah,
that was always the first go around. It was always fun to do that.
Yeah,
kind of good comments and just kind of keep people together. So
yeah, I always enjoy it. Just put it on in the background, and it's great. Yeah, keep it up.
Thank you, Joe.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll try and check in next week, if not the week after. But
yeah, and please hit like and subscribe to the video if you're on YouTube.
Episode 4.
Episode 4. I think that's it.
That's it. All right.
Air high five. I don't don't know how to end and
top right.
just hit the X.
Yeah. And then you can hit. Don't hit the.
Don't hit the what?
Yeah. Now you
Okay.
can kind of
Share it.